inflating our views. Oh, here we go. Let's play it. Oh no, where's the intro music? It's just gone. Oh no.
It's gone.
We're not on yet.
Here we go. We are now.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Twins Off Daily podcast, coming to you live on this beautiful, a Monday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I am gathered here today with two of my finest compatriots who actually made their trek to Target Field this weekend. To my left here, what's up, Cody Schoenman?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we were at Target Field. It was beautiful. Got to see a nice Harrison Bader walk-off. Lou recommended braza to me, and it was incredible. I actually ate it all 3 days I was there. I'm not even kidding. I had the crispy yuca. I got it in 3 days. Yeah, it was incredible.
No free ads.
No free ads.
Yeah, we would love a sponsorship from them, though. I mean, I'm
sure yes, we would.
Also, no groveling, please.
Okay. But yeah, no. Thanks, Lou, for that rec. That was awesome.
Speaking of groveling, underneath here we have Mr. Gregory T. Masterson. It's good to see your face, ? Greg?
I feel like you should introduce yourself to the listeners. I don't think that they know who you are, Sweet. Yeah. It's been quite a while since you've been running the show here.
Yes, nice to meet you, everybody. My name is Sweet Lou Hennessy. I have been gone for what feels like ages. On the last live show that we did last week, Greg actually filled me in on everything that I had missed in the month of June, which ended up being a doozy for our Minnesota Twins. It has not been so different in the last week here, so that's what we are here to talk about. So let's talk about it. Let's introduce our walk-off question that we have posted at the bottom of the screen here, though, and that is, which Twin deserved more All-Star love in their career? Let us know. Leave a comment, and we will read that out if it is appropriate. But right now, let's boogie on down and do a rapid recap since our last show. All right. So like I said, it was a pretty up and down week, but one that the Twins, I think, would probably gladly take over the ones that came before it. So they went 3-3 this week. They went 1-2 against the Miami Marlins and 2-1 against the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's talk about it. Who's hot? Who's not? Let's start with you, Cody. What sprung to your mind here?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the most obvious answer is Harrison Bader. I mean, he was incredible over this weekend. He had the 2 home run game on the 4th of July with the walk-off, and he had the pinch hit home run on Sunday's game, which came against the lefty. So naturally, the Twins finally have their right-handed hitting corner outfielder who can hit left-handed pitching well. We finally got one in Harrison Bader. But no, I mean, he was awesome defensively too. You look pristine out there in left field. So, you know, as the trade deadline comes, which we're going to get to later, sure seems like Bader might be on his way out of Minnesota. That was a pretty impressive performance, but we'll see. We'll see how the team turns it around. Also on the offensive front, I want to give a shout out.
Wait. I need to, before we move on from Harrison Bader, I need to put it out there. I did not tweet this. So this is, I decided to save this to discuss on air. Harrison Bader nearly killed my poor wife. So Cody is witness to this. Cody and I and my lovely wife and a couple other friends went to the game on what was that? On the 4th of July, on Friday. And we were sitting down in the corner in foul territory along the third baseline. So we were very close to left field. And I had to have the discussion with her before the game that we've all had probably with our fathers, like early in our baseball going lives, that when you're close to the field, you cannot look away from the field. A foul ball, something might come off the field and hit you. And so she was very worked up about it. She was taking it very seriously. We had no balls that were quite to us, but there were enough in the vicinity that she was very aware. Anyway, in the top of the 9th, right before the inning started, Harrison Bader out in left field, as he does basically before every inning, turned and threw a ball into the stands that he was using to warm up. But this particular throw was very low, very hard. Nobody saw it coming. Like everybody in our section dove out of the way, and it smacked right into the chair next to my loving wife. And she thought that she was going to die. She learned real quick why we don't take our eyes off the ball sitting close to the park. But yeah, Harrison Bader nearly killed my wife, and then like 20 minutes later hit a walk-off home run. So
your wife is already kind of like not the biggest baseball fan too.
No,
right? Like
no, that's part of it is like, like I said, she's not from a baseball family. She does not go to many baseball games. So like the talk that we had to have was the same talk that I had when I was like 8, right? And so I had to it didn't even click with me right away that I needed to have that talk with her because she just has not been to many baseball games in her life.
To be fair to her, though, like literally none of us were looking. Like
that's true.
We saw the ball coming in like 2 seconds, and I was like, "Why did he laser that?" And then it was funny because Greg was like, "Hey, buddy, that was my wife." And then there's a guy 2 rows ahead of us who goes, "No, that's my wife." And then the guy that Greg was talking to him, we were like, "No, we're obviously talking about the woman next to him, not your wife." Like it was, I don't know. That was really funny.
We almost had to fight somebody in the stands
because Greg claimed
it wasn't Harrison Bader. Like he was like ticked off. We're live, so we can't be swearing. He was ticked off at me, thinking that I was yelling at his wife or something. I don't know.
That would be incredible publicity for the podcast. You should have thought about that.
Well, also, speaking of publicity for the podcast, Cody and I were on the Jumbotron, which was great. We were recognized by a few different listeners, including one that when I went on the Jumbotron, I yelled kind of like, "Ah!" And so somebody heard it, said, "That's Greg." Like they were like 100 feet away and started looking around for me because they heard us yelling. Last note on that, Cody kept calling me Greg in front of my wife, and then my wife cried. So it was an all-around great experience.
Yeah, I mean, and then like 15 seconds later, some blonde woman got engaged, and then it happened. There's like multiple people who got engaged this weekend at Target Field. That was interesting.
Love it was in the air.
I would have just said no if it was at a Twins game. So
yeah.
How big of a baseball fan my wife is. Yeah. Anyway, Cody, what you were saying, who's hot?
So that was a long tangent. I also just turn it over to you in a second. I also want to give a shout out to Simeon Woods Richardson. He's actually been pretty solid his last 3 starts. It's been nice for him to come up as a reinforcement with Pablo hurt and Zebby hurt. He was incredible in Houston. He was incredible in Miami. There was a start in between there. Forgot who it was against, but he was also good in that start too. So maybe we're getting, last year, early season version of Sim, which would be nice. We expect him to be a part of the rotation, second half of the year too. If I had to guess, and obviously, more injuries or something, will make this moot, but I'm sure Simeon is ahead of Festa right now on the starting pitching depth chart, like as to who would get option once, Pablo, Zebby, Bailey, Ober come back. So we'll see. But I've been really impressed with Simeon Woods Richardson, and I'm really happy with where he's at right now in the Twins rotation.
Cody, you brought up Harrison Bader, and you said that you weren't so confident that he will be on this Twins team come August. So, Greg, I'm going to throw it to you. Do you think what sort of trade package would Harrison Bader net the Twins, and would it be Clint Frazier, Miguel Andujar value, or what are we talking here?
I mean, I think that like Harrison Bader, the way that he's been hitting this year, obviously everybody knows who Harrison Bader is, though. I mean, obviously he did have like quite a prospect pedigree, and people really, really thought that he was going to be a very, very valuable player.
And he was a Yankee
5
too.
years ago.
He was a Yankee too.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I feel like we might undersell what Harrison Bader could return. I don't think it would be some huge trade package.
Sure.
But I think that it could be something valuable because he is a legitimate center fielder who is hitting fairly well this year.
It's so curious. Like, the Twins right now, where they're sitting at 43 and 46, is it? Something like that? 3 games under 500. Say they're around this level, like, right around 500 come the actual trade deadline. Could you, either of you, see like one of those? They don't happen very often, but like a major leaguer for major leaguer trade of, almost a challenge trade. We really haven't seen it recently.
Given that he's only on a 1-year deal, I don't see it happening because the swap would have to be for a guy also on a 1-year deal. And
Sure.
if the Twins are selling, then I don't think they would want another, half season guy who would obviously probably play a role less important than what Bader's playing right now. And it wouldn't be pitching, I'm guessing. So if I had to guess, I think it would probably be a batter or a hitter, probably somebody in AA right now, single A. It could be like a pretty valuable AA bat, but I think that's the type of player the Twins would be getting for Bader at this point. Maybe single A too, somebody even lower in the minors.
I guess the question I was more going for is, could you see them buying and selling at the same time? I don't know. What do you think, Greg?
I think that there could be kind of a shuffle like that. I don't see it necessarily being a challenge trade where it's a straight up major leaguer for major leaguer, but I could definitely see them like trading a major leaguer for prospects, then trading prospects for a major leaguer, and essentially kind of having the farm stay untouched, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like you, in terms of like just like counting the value of what you've got in your farm system. I could definitely see that. I'm trying to think of the last time we've seen like a straight up kind of major leaguer for major leaguer trade in it hasn't happened in Twins history for like Sandy Leone for Ian Hamilton. I think it could technically, or was it Ian Hamilton?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it was Ian Hamilton. Yeah,
that could technically be considered a trade deadline, major leaguer for major leaguer.
Hey, Jorge Lopez for Yenye Cano.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you could see something like that. I'm not going to count it out, but I could see it.
Another thing that could be interesting on that front is like, say you trade Bader for a AA arm maybe, and then you would then flip CJ Culpepper for like Ryan O'Hearn or something like that. So then
that's literally what I just said.
I was, but
I just put names to it.
Yeah, those are names that you can get. Look at me, stealing your whole bit.
How about this? Could they trade for a starting pitcher, let that pitcher go exactly one start, and then trade them again before the deadline? Could we see that yet again, the good old-fashioned Derek Falvey switcheroo?
Yes.
Honestly.
And it would be Aaron Savali.
That's kind of nerve-wracking.
Aaron Savali. Okay, I was going to ask, like, what caliber of pitcher would that be? Because, like, of course, it's like the question is more than just what pitcher do you want for just one start. It's like, which are you willing to give up the assets and then try to get back some instantly? It'd have to be someone like Aaron Savali or change of scenery guy. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get Savali, and then he'll do one start, and then we'll trade him to the Angels, and then the Angels will DFA him later this year, and then he'll be on like a fifth team.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, man. I don't know. We talked about who's hot. What about who's not? Who is maybe disappointed on this Twins team so far in the last 6 games here? Cody, let's start with. Honestly, or Greg, you got one?
Sorry, everybody on offense. If we're being honest, like the offense has not been there really whatsoever. They have, like, outside of Harrison Bader and Willie Castro over the last week, there has not really been much of anything, which is especially disappointing because, like, say that again?
And Buxton.
Over the last week, no, not really.
He had a home run in that Rays series.
Okay, sure. But, I mean, over the last week, Byron Buxton is batting 160 with 1 home run.
Okay, fair enough.
3 other hits, but point taken. What I'm saying is there has not been a ton of production from the lineup. That's really disappointing because I think the pitching has kind of righted itself over the last couple of weeks. There were several I think that they gave up two runs across 3 games in a series. For the most part, like the pitching has been somewhat reliable. There's been a couple of blown, coughed up leads late in games. Griffin Jacks had another Griffin Jacks experience yesterday. And poor Travis Adams was that was a weird start appearance, whatever. I don't exactly know what to make of it other than, hey, I'm happy that he got through a few innings, even if it didn't look so pretty with his one strikeout over 5 innings. Like, let's see how that plays. But
sure.
Yeah, I guess I would say the entire offense.
Yeah, I don't think you'd find much of an argument. Cody, anybody else come to mind besides the entire offense?
Entire offense. Some bullpen arms. I mean, Justin Topa, besides the throwing error to first base, has kind of regressed significantly.
Yeah.
I'd say to like pre-Mariners days, like how it looked with Milwaukee, which is not what you want out of Justin Topa. Griffin Jax is still just like a weird case. I don't know. I still don't know what to make of Griffin Jax. He might be a guy who could be sent out at the trade deadline. We don't really know. But again, like all those hits were were dribblers. You know, it's not really an indictment on his ability to pitch. He still has incredible stuff. But yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm reading John's comment right now. Lou, do you want to
go for it, Cody?
Okay, Bader for a lesser package than Polo, as in Jorge Polanco. I could see it regardless of team record. All right, what do you think, Lou? Give me your analysis.
I think Bader is worth a blue chip prospect for his sandy golden locks alone. Also, just I think he's ingrained himself in that clubhouse. Just the way that these guys look at him and some of the pictures that the social media is posting, the admin is posting out there. I don't know. No. I don't think Bader's going anywhere. I think they hang on to him unless things really tank over the next week or two, which I guess we have seen happen. So I don't know.
Can
Greg,
I ask what record they would need to have on July 31st for you to feel good about them selling? Or don't give me the record. How many games below 500?
Good about they should right sell?
Yeah.
I think if they are more than 5 games, I'll say more than 6 games under 500. Right, I think that's time to call it. I think you have to be able to count on one hand how many you are away from 500.
I'm also thinking like games back of the final wild card spot, and if you're like 7 or 8 games back too, then you probably want to sell.
Right.
Which, by the way, this isn't far
back
off. They are 4 games below 500. They are 5 games back. It basically, I think that's reasonable. If they drop 2 or 3 games down in either their overall record or their games back in the wild card race, yeah, absolutely. It's hard to give kind of a deadline or not a deadline, but like a specific number. Like if they were just if they went 500 from here on out and they were still 5 back, the odds of catching anybody are so low, but it feels attainable, I guess.
I also just don't see a world where this is like a fire sale, no matter what happens, just because I don't see that sort of major shift happening. Maybe a shakeup in like a core player or two, for sure. Somebody maybe you didn't foresee them shopping or anything, but I don't know if I could see like 5 or 6 of these main guys all being shipped out just because they're so far. I don't know. It could be wrong. I don't know. How about this? Any minor leaguers catch your eye before we move on here over the last week or so? Any minor leaguers that you have been impressed with or anything?
Yeah, I don't think that we've given this guy a shout out on the show yet. But it's topical given that we were just talking about the Jorge Polanco trade and we were just talking about potential deadline deals. Gabby Gonzalez has been very nice this year. He has an OPS over 900, both at high A Cedar Rapids, and he just got promoted to Wichita, and he's got a 970 OPS. He's played about 40 games there. He's only 21. He's a very young prospect. He came over in that Polanco deal. He really struggled out of the gate last year. And there were a lot of questions as to what the Twins were going to get with him. I want to give him a shout out. I also think that if the Twins were competitive right now, Gabby Gonzalez would be a guy who they would be chomping at the bit to flip very much kind of an ascending prospect. I mean, he was on a top 100 list a couple of years ago. He's having a very good year. You could definitely see him sort of like in 2022 with like Spencer Steer or Christian Encarnacion Strand, where people were very excited about them. They were having very good years. You maybe flip them. And I don't want to say this so quickly after gassing him up, but he has a profile that I'm not super excited about as like basically a hit only guy. I do want to say he has a 400 batting average in balls in play at AA right now, but I don't know. It's exciting to see him kind of put together a good year after that rough year last year.
All right, I'm going to flip it on you now then. So you asked how many, how comfort, what's your comfort level? How many games back would the Twins have to be for you to accept selling? How many games up, or how much better would they have to be for you to be like, yeah, let's flip Gabby Gonzalez for, a really good reinforcement here?
I don't know. I don't know that I would really greenlight like a huge reinforcement unless they were. I don't even know if they like go on a 13-game win streak. They would be in a position where I would feel good about like acquiring some sort of like middle order bat or something like that.
That'd be good. Like a power hitting first baseman, or like a veteran starting pitcher. Trade. How about Gabby Gonzalez for Sonny Gray? Who says no?
Yes.
Who says no?
I don't know. I think that I would say like 5 games over 500. Maybe 2 games back in the wild card. I would say go for it.
Okay.
I think that would probably be my line if I'm just trying to make something up.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair, and I think that Cleopatra in the background is agreeing with you, right?
That one's Kiki. That's the other one.
Okay. Kiki loves trade rumors. She loved that hot stove. Okay, cool. Well, we got Gabby Gonzalez as a minor leaguer. I don't know. Should we talk about some All-Star stuff? I mean, that's the hot topic right now, right? Mr. Byron Buxton going to represent the Twins for a second time in the All-Star game in his home state of Georgia. Pretty cool story. Very deserving, obviously. Did you guys see that? Like the players vote, he had the 3rd most votes out of any position player or something like that. Like he was being recognized by his peers and by the coaching around the league and stuff. But wow, he got 8th or 9th, I think, in fan voting. I don't know. It's not surprising, I guess, but these popularity contests, I don't know. Byron Buxton, though, what do we think? I like I said, I think he's very deserving, and I don't think that this will be his last All-Star game either. Oh,
wow. Yeah, no, he is very deserving. It's exciting that he'll be in the home run derby too. Twins posted that today on Twitter. So that was cool in Georgia. But also, if we're talking about like snubs on the Twins, I think the most significant one obviously was Joe Ryan. I think Joe Ryan has deserved to be an All-Star for a long time now, even like a couple seasons. In 2023, I feel like he was, deserving. Or what? No, it was last year. It was the first half of last year. I think that he deserved to be a All-Star, and I think he will get in as like an injury replacement, or maybe somebody will throw like the game before the All-Star game, and then they'll sit. And then Joe might go in for them. But I think Ryan really deserves to be an All-Star, and I really hope that he gets in.
Yeah, that'd be very deserving. I feel bummed for him. It was he's had such a good campaign, and I think that they were talking about it on Gleeman and the Geek, I think, in their most recent Patreon episode. Sorry, no free ads. But the only other pitcher that was like, okay, we could see Ryan ahead of him was Brian Wu of the Mariners, and they have like really, really similar numbers. So I don't know. Like you said, I think that Joe Ryan might be one of the first guys in line for if somebody has to bow out. Greg, what do you think?
No, I think 100%. I think that he's probably on a short list of 2 or 3 pitchers who, and there will need to be injury replacements or starting pitcher rotation replacements if they pitch too close to the All-Star game. So yeah, I would not count out the Twins getting a second All-Star. I don't think that they would. I don't think they're really in line for anybody else. I think like Willie Castro has been really impressive this year again. I feel like they threw him enough of a bone last year where if push came to shove and they were trying to decide between some injury replacements and Willie Castro was on that short list, I feel like they would probably give it to somebody else just to like spread the love or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it's so exciting to see Byron Buxton get to another All-Star game. I always say, he had that 1 year in 2021 that was at a rate level better than how he is playing right now. But his sustained health, his sustained success this season has been so encouraging. He is still a good center fielder. I'm so excited for him. I do. I hate to say that I'm nervous, but I hate when players do participate in the home run derby. I know it's unreasonable. I know that it's like been statistically proven that it doesn't actually hurt people's swings, but I don't know. I'm superstitious. It makes me just a little bit nervous, but I'm excited. I think Byron Buxton during the home run derby is going to put some swings on balls that people aren't going to expect. I think that there's going to be some deep shots, and I love me a moon ball.
The only thing I could see being worse than him messing up his swing is him messing up his swing and also pulling a Brandon Inge and not hitting a single home run in the home run derby. That was wild. I think that was 2009. I think that was the one that Mauer participated in too. And gotta feel for
our studded line of home run hitters.
Yeah.
Brandon Inge, Joe Mauer. This is what the people pay to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Typical Tigers. I do also. I mean, this isn't going to happen, but I think Louis Varland deserves an All-Star nod.
I was going to say, I was going to bring up Duran first because I think that he has more of, the maybe national spotlight so far, and he's having an incredible campaign of his own. I guess I understand it though that I think they only have 3 relievers on the roster right now, and I'd be okay with Duran being one of those guys that's like, okay, if one of the 3 solely the relievers get hurt, then they replace him with a reliever. I hope that's the way. I don't want anybody to get hurt by any means, but if I could see that be him.
I'm
being
sure
on the
Cody
short list.
wants at least one of them to get hurt.
Yeah, I'm positive. But you're right. Sweet Lou Varland. Sweet Lou Varland.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that he's put his name in the ring too. He has just been an absolute dog, especially this last week. He pitched I think like 4 of 6 games, a couple multi-innings, or at least one really crucial multi-inning outing. Really big. Would have been fun to see Sweet Lou Varland, another Lou from St. Paul. What are the odds find their way to the All-Star game? Okay, anybody else? I don't know, Cody Clemens, the Bottle Rocket? No, probably not. I don't even know who would be next in line after that. Jeffers, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Harrison Bader.
Yeah, maybe.
Honestly, I mean, I think Harrison Bader's like is still very high up on the team leaderboard in WAR. Like if we're talking about like who would be next, and you just said WAR,
yeah,
I think that would be Harrison Bader, and that's damning with faint praise.
Sure.
Yeah.
Greg, were you talking about Chapman or Hader?
I said at least one.
Okay.
Yeah, at least
I love Andres Munoz. So
just wait. He's hiding something.
He loves cats.
Anyway. Before we get in too much trouble here, how about this? Let's go on to our next segment.
Oh, I've got a Cody story for the end that'll get him in real trouble. I teased it on the
perfect.
I teased it on the tweets, but
if you're joining us on this live broadcast, you got to hang around for that for sure. But for right now, we're going to move on down to our next segment that we do. It is Picks to Click. Okay, so everybody pretty much knows how Picks to Click happens here. We pick a category that we are going to track between now and the next episode that we do. Let's see, when's the next off day, guys? I think we got a little stretch here.
It's next week.
It's gonna be next week. Okay.
Lou, the All-Star break is next week.
Oh goodness! What happens at the All-Star break?
Our
Greg?
All-Star Podnanza. We've got a show every single day. There's only 4 this year. Thank God, because 5 we do like 3 shows a month a lot of times. Then we had to do 5 in 5 days. That was rough. Cody didn't show up for work ever.
Cody didn't show up. It almost killed me. I had to go on the COVID IL.
It almost killed Theo. He guest starred on one of our episodes and then had to quit halfway through.
Why is there music?
What the heck?
Where's this coming from?
All right,
Ooh, that's kind of nice.
producer
That was
Lenny.
eerie. That was eerie. Okay. I thought that was an entrance music. I thought it would be like, please welcome to the stage, Peter Labuza.
Man. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Where were we? Podnanza. Podnanza last year almost killed me. Cody didn't come to work. Friend of the pod, Theo Tollefson, got scurvy or something and had to exit abruptly and during one of the
mid-episode. He had to clock out.
Unprecedented here. But that's what happens when you have as much fun as we do here. So please tune in to the All-Star Podnanza from Twins Off Daily Podcast. We will have more updates on that as it approaches. But with Picks to Click here, between now and the Podnanza, we are going to track a given category. Before we do that, let's talk about the last round here that ended yesterday. We wanted to guess which Twins player would bat or would hit into the most double plays, most ground into double plays. Cody picked Carlos Correa, safe bet, but unfortunately, Cody, I'm sorry, man, you did not win. Correa only ground into 1 double play, which feels like progress, right? Greg picked Ty France, who grounded it into 2 double plays, I think we found. And friend of the show, Peter Labuza, he picked Trevor Larnach, who had 3 on the scoreboard. So Peter, the guest, gets the point for last round. Congratulations, Peter. You can pick up your prize at the door.
Peter Labuza, after appearing on 2 shows, has more all-time wins in Picks to Click than Cody does.
That can't be. That can't be. Unbelievable.
It's true.
Well, Cody, you're due. Let's get your pick for this one. How about this? The next category that we're going to track, we want, and you actually came up with this category, Cody, the number of pitchers that will have more strikeouts than Travis Adams. So you need to guess a number of pitchers that will have more strikeouts than Travis Adams without going over.
Okay, I'll go 9.
9. That's a lot of That's a lot of pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Greg, what do you think?
I am going to say, I feel like just guessing 0 so you don't go over. I think that's out of play with 9. I'm going to say 12. 12 pitchers are going to have more strikeouts than
I was
Travis
thinking
Adams
9 was low. Thank you, Greg.
9.
Listen,
12.
he had 1 strikeout. Like
Over
it's possible that he gets another 4 innings. He gets it.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go 12.
Greg gets 12. Cody had 9. Lou. I'm gonna try to squeeze Cody out here. I'm gonna say 10.
Ooh.
So let's get it. There we are. Okay, so we will track that. Everybody, please watch those Travis Adams outings, and we will have an updated number in our next episode. But for right now, everybody, it is time for the most popular segment of the Twins Off Daily Podcast. It is time for Gregory's Gripes. Okay, so for those of you who don't know how Gregory's Gripes works, Greg always has something grinding his gears, and this is his chance to get it off his chest. Sometimes it's baseball related, sometimes it's just life related. Greg, what do you have for us today?
Double gripe today. This one's a very quick one. I looked up a stat. We didn't get into it, and I want to really quickly gripe about it. Today I found this stat. So Trevor Larnach had an overall 120 WRC plus last year, 20% above average. This year he has a 108 OPS or a WRC plus, so around average. It seems like he's having a worse season. Like, what happened to Trevor Larnach? I looked up his splits. He has actually a better WRC plus against righties this year than he did last year, and he has an abysmal WRC plus against lefties. And he's WRC plus against righties last year was 124. It's 123. It's 127 this year, but his overall numbers are so far down because he is hitting against lefties so much more than he was last season. About 19% of his plate appearances have been against lefties this season, as opposed to about 6 last season. Can somebody just platoon Trevor Larnach? Like, he is having a very, very good year if you just stopped making him try to hit against lefties. So that's my very quick gripe. I don't know if you guys agree with that one or not, but I'm sick of this.
I do agree with it. I would love for some power hitting, corner outfielder. I don't even care if they're that good defensively, honestly. But please get me Jorge Soler. I think he would be the glue guy on this team. Sure. Why not?
I actually would like to see Austin Martin come up. Ironically,
honestly, like for Kersey.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he could kind of do that pinch running. He's absolutely not the same defender that Kersey is.
Much better bat and right-handed.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
You play them left.
I'm open to it. Yeah. Why not? Okay, so my actual gripe, and like I said, I attended the Twins game this weekend, and I was very excited because they had a special going on for the 4th of July. You could get like a $7 hot dog tray or a $10 barbecue tray. And so I showed up, and I'd totally forgotten, I've been out of the Midwest for too long, that barbecue doesn't mean barbecue in the Midwest.
What did they say?
A plate of barbecue is just a cheeseburger. They handed out cheeseburger with baked beans and chips on the Gate 34 Plaza.
Yeah.
I showed up expecting, I was like, for $10 I can get like a tray of like pulled pork or brisket or ribs, or no, it's just cheeseburgers. And I remembered that at that point, like my wife also was like she's not like big into eating meat, but she was like, wait, where's the barbecue? I was like, I forgot that's what barbecue means here. So I'd forgotten that cheeseburgers and hot dogs count as barbecuing as opposed to like smoking. I really thought that they were going to have like a bunch of smokers out there.
Yeah.
Which was disappointing. And then I remembered that like growing up, if you were eating barbecue, it was actually just a sloppy Joe.
What?
And so maybe this is a gripe with me, maybe it's a gripe with the Twins, but I was just so disappointed when I showed up. It was a good burger. I'm not knocking the food itself, but I really thought that I was showing up for barbecue when they said you could buy barbecue at the game.
The thing is, they used to have a great barbecue stand right there in Gate 34 a few years ago, probably like 5 years ago.
I actually they had a barbecue stand in like center field that I got like a plate of mac and cheese topped with pulled pork after that.
Oh, okay.
So that saved my life.
Okay, good. They used to have Butcher and the Boar, which is a local fancy steak restaurant, I think, or some sort of barbecue. At Gate 34, and that smell would waft throughout the entire ballpark for an hour or so before game time, and I miss it desperately. Greg,
Hey, Greg.
Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Say something nice about Johnny Holm.
He definitely plays music. He does play music.
Plays it real loud.
We did not make it in time for the Johnny Holmes band. We did hear him from inside of the parking garage, and it was very loud. It's a real shame we did not see Johnny. Say something nice about Johnny Holmes. He knows a lot of songs that other people wrote.
He sure does. He can sing them for you. Johnny, the newest sponsor of the Twins Off Daily podcast.
Let's get Johnny Holmes band.
Let's have him cover our theme songs, our bumper music. It'd be good. Okay, Greg. Any other gripes you have for us today?
No gripes today.
Okay,
no more gripes today. We're not going to do a triple play.
That was relatively tame for you, dude. I think that was you've calmed down in your old age, I think.
Well, then I guess I need to step it up.
Yes, you do. Okay, perfect. Okay, so until you step up, why don't we go to our last segment here, and we are going to do an edition of The Closer. For The Closer, this is our rotating list of games that we like to play here on the Twins Off Daily podcast. In tonight's game, we are going to do an edition of Stump the Shone. Cody, the Shone himself, do you want to explain this segment?
Yeah, so it is in honor of Stump the Schwab, show that was on ESPN in like the early 2000s, I think, in like the late 2000s, post Iraq War maybe. But yeah, his name is Stuart Schwab. Pretty much he was this guy who knew everything about every sport, and there would be 3 contestants that would come on, and Stuart Scott, that's where I got Stuart. His name is Howie Schwab. Stuart Scott was the host, and basically he would ask the questions, and he would go around, and the contestants had to answer correctly, and then once they answered incorrectly, they were out, and they had to stump the Schwab. But yeah, it's kind of, am I missing any details? So effectively, who's the Schwab tonight? Is it you, Lou? Yes.
Yeah. So I have a list. I have a category here, a list of players, and I'll tell you what they are right now. So don't do any research. Okay. No cheating here. I have a list of 20 Minnesota Twins who were named All-Stars since the 2010 season. So over the last 15 years, these two are going to go back and forth, Greg and Cody, trying to name all the Twins All-Stars over the last 15 years. There are 20 of them here. Greg, do you want to pull up an Excel spreadsheet so we can track the list here? So this is how it's going to go. Each contestant is going to have 3 strikes, and if Greg is the last man standing, he has effectively stumped the Shone. Otherwise, let's see if Cody can hold him off here to it. So there are 20 Minnesota Twins All-Star representatives since 2010. If the guys freeze up, feel free to send in a clue for them, our dear audience members. But for right now,
I want to really quick give a shout out to Ron Coomer. Thank you, Steve.
Back in town.
Sadly, honestly, when you started saying that you were talking about All-Stars, the first name that I wrote down was Coomdog before you said that it was since 2010.
He's back in town with the Cubs, I believe. I think he's still doing broadcasting for them. So I think he does radio. Coomdog, welcome back, baby. He's a big fan of the show. Big fan of the podcast. Okay, so why don't we start with let's start with the Shone himself.
Glenn Perkins.
Glenn Perkins, yes, he was an All-Star. I believe he was a 3-time All-Star.
All right, Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer, yes, he made the All-Star team in 2012 and 2013, I believe.
All right.
Vote Doge, Brian Dozier.
No bull, vote Dozier. Remember that? Remember that campaign that brought big bulldozer out? Okay, cool. Greg, you're up.
Oh, geez. Was Morneau an All-Star in 2010?
Are you asking?
I'm saying he was he an All-Star? Yeah, my guess is not.
He was not. Greg already.
That's an injustice. Holy cow!
Yeah. That is a strike. 2010, was that when he got his concussion, or was that 2011?
I thought it was 2010 was when he bonked his
If it was, that would make sense why he wasn't named an All-Star then, I suppose, because it was like right around this time when it happened. I want to say it was like beginning of July.
I was thinking they would have given it to him just because, like, gosh dang, you've got to recognize that.
Right. Why not at that point?
I don't know why I just threw away my first. Okay, whatever.
All right, first strike for Greg. Cody, you're up.
Carlos Correa.
Carlos Correa made the All-Star team last year.
Okay, let's go Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz, yes, he was representing the Bomba squad.
Byron Buxton.
Byron Buxton can confirm All-Star.
Willie Castro.
Willie Castro, have heard the same. Good one.
Should the Twins trade for Luis Arias?
Luis Arias. Okay, I was wondering if people would remember that he repped the Twins as an All-Star. Yes, good guess.
Taylor Rogers.
Taylor Rogers. You will never break the chain.
What happened to Kurt Suzuki?
Kurt Suzuki. Oh man. Good guy. Sure.
Shoot. Let's go. Eduardo Escobar.
Eduardo Escobar. He did not make the All-Star team with the Twins. I do not think. Greg, you are straight.
Okay.
I don't think he made it with the Twins. He made it with the Diamondbacks after he left.
I got a wire crossed.
Okay. I think you may be thinking of somebody with similar vibes.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, your back is against the wall, Greg.
It is.
Cody, you got anybody else here?
Yeah. I do. And that person's name is Eduardo Nunez.
Eduardo Nunez, yes. He was their lone representative in that terrible, depressing 2016
He gave
season.
it to me.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Greg?
All right, so my next one is going to be, should the Twins sign Miguel Sano?
Miguel Sano. I was waiting for it. Yes, he was an all-star.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Cody, I think if you kind of count backwards, you'll figure out some recent ones.
Yeah. Jorge Polanco.
Yes, he is one.
Same year, Jake Odorizzi.
Yes, he snuck in. Absolutely.
Really? I'm gonna get my first one wrong here. I think Kepler.
Kepler was never an all-star.
Yeah.
Cody has one strike. Greg has two.
I'm gonna go with
here. Let's take a pause real quick. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names remaining.
Wow.
Yeah, we have not said Jose Barrios.
Yeah.
You want to guess that?
Yes.
Okay, Jose Barrios. Yes, confirmed. All-star.
On that note, Irving Santana.
Big Irv. Magic Santana himself. Yes, he was an all-star representative.
I believe that this was a controversial one because of what came afterwards, but was Brandon Kinsler an all-star?
Brandon Kinsler was an all-star. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3 remaining. There are 2 pitchers and 1 hitter.
Okay. Matt Capps.
Matt Capps never represented the Twins in the All-Star game, sadly. No.
Was
so Cody is at 2 strikes himself.
Oh, geez. Okay. 2 pitchers and 1 hitter.
Yeah. Listeners, I think you're free to send some of these in if you have any guesses of your own.
Oh, 2 pitchers, 1 hitter.
That's crazy that
Greg gets this long to try to guess.
Was Capps an all-star with like Washington?
Yes, he was. The Twins traded for him right after. Yep.
I genuinely had no idea that he was even an all-star closer.
Oh no, he was great. He was great with the Nationals. But so good. They gave up Wilson Ramos. Anyway, Greg, do you have a guess? I will give you a quick clue. You have written a series on this pitcher.
A series on this pitcher?
Yep.
I have written a series on this pitcher.
Series of articles. I can't say how serious they were, though.
Yeah, they were like blogs. They were.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray,
the once and future twin himself, Sonny Gray.
Okay. So Pablo Lopez is also
Pablo Lopez. That's right. So Greg, if you can name this last twin. I'll say he's from the older side of this list.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think of somebody in like the 2013, 2014 crop of hitters. Was Josh Willingham an all-star?
Is that your final guess?
That's going to be my final guess.
He was never an all-star for the Twins.
Ryan Domit? Was it Ryan Domit?
It was not Ryan Domit. That's a funnier guess, though. All right, so you
I was
10-3.
I was gonna punch the wall if it was Ryan Doman.
All right, listeners, if you don't have any guesses, this player was quite the magician.
Oh, it was Kadire. Yes,
Michael Kadire.
I had that written down and I just crossed it out. My Michael Kadire memory is, like I've established already on this live stream, was that I had not like my wife, my girlfriend at the time, not a baseball person.
Sure. But
I do remember telling her during this time because he was like the last vote, like 1 of 5, whatever. I remember telling her, spam this name. And she's like, I don't even know how to pronounce this name. That's not a real guy. So that did come across my mind. I wrote it down and then I completely forgot about it.
All right. Well, that's actually a good segue here. For our walk-off question that we have had posted at the bottom of the screen here, which twin deserved more All-Star love in their career? The one that I'm actually going to go with is Mr. Pat Neshek. I've talked about him a couple different times on this podcast, but he was part of the 2007 final vote. He placed 3rd out of 5. Get this list of names that joined him. So first of all, Hideki Okajima won that vote. Of course, he played for Boston. Figures. Pat Neshek placed 3rd. Jeremy Bonderman was also in the top 5 there, or the final vote. Kelvin Escobar with an M. Kelvin Escobar. Roy Halladay rounded out that list. Some absolute future, at least should have been Hall of Famers in Roy Halladay and Pat Neshek. No, I thought it was. I always loved that final vote. I thought it was kind of a funny little exercise and one that would fail epically today. I feel like with where the internet has gone. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Any twins that you think deserved more All-Star love in their time?
Our friend Bradley over at Facebook says Ken Herbeck. That was
good call, Bradley. Good call.
That's a good one. Ken Herbeck eventually asked not to be voted in. Am I remembering that correctly?
You were the only one of us that was living when this happened. So
I for some reason, there's like a story in the back of my head where he was not an All-Star. He's just like, I don't want to go anyway.
I don't want to go. I want the time
something like that.
He would fit that mold. He would fit that mold. Herbeck would. So I don't know. What do you think?
Friend Josiah also says Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer. It would have been fun to see Joe Mauer get an All-Star nod in, what was that, 2017? He had a pretty good year.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been fun.
I wonder if so the MLB has now, they just did it to Clayton Kershaw. They did it a few years ago for who was it? It was Miguel Cabrera and Pujols.
Yeah,
they just it's like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
I wonder if people knew that Joe Mauer was going to be retiring in 2018. I wonder if that might have been a move.
I wonder.
I don't know if he's quite big enough of a name to justify that, but that would have been cool.
That would have been cool. I kind of like that they do that, honestly. Why not? It's fun. Who cares?
Well, they didn't do it in 1963, so why would we do it now?
Figures. The thing is, I've always had the take that for All-Star games, if you opt out of the All-Star game, I think you should forfeit your award. You should not be known as a 4-time All-Star if you opt out of them. But also, it would give up. It'd be kind of tricky because some guys have All-Star incentives in their contracts and stuff. So I think that's just a mess anyway, I guess. But anyway, Cody, anybody come up?
I said this earlier, but Joe Ryan. I mean, I really think he should be an All-Star.
Multiple time snub at this point.
Yeah, Phil Hughes should have been an All-Star in 2014. That was a really great year. Probably deserving. He had a 5 WAR that year. But starting pitcher. Or go ahead.
Also, the Twins were pretty terrible in 2014. Yeah. I think they finished with 95 plus losses or whatever, and they had 2 All-Stars already. So it's kind of okay, terrible team, but they were hosting too.
Oh yeah. Denard Span, I always felt should have had one, but maybe not.
Yeah,
me more being nostalgic, but yeah, I thought Span was Carlos Gomez.
Hey, fun.
No.
Delman Young was on that final fan vote, and you know what? I think that he's a high character fella, and he deserved to be an all-star at some point.
Oh, Dumb and Duck. Good old Dumb and Duck.
My friend Steve wants to nominate Nishioka's ashtray. Should have gotten more all-star games.
Should have. Absolutely should have. For that contract, that ashtray should have been in there for sure.
I'll shout out. And this is one I think that if he was, I think that there's a chance that if you just take the season that he had and put it into a normal season or a normal first half, Kenta Maeda in 2020.
Yeah.
Because of his showing through 60 games, like I'm curious if there was an all-star game in 2020 and he had pitched to the line that he had in the first half that year. I mean, my gosh. He had such a good year for the Twins. He got second in the Cy Young. He had a whip of .75 as a starter. He took a no-hitter into the ninth inning. I think in a just world, there would have been some sort of like end of year all-star. Maybe we don't have a game, but we do it's almost like an all MLB team that functions as an all-star selection. Because that he didn't get into an all-star game in his career, and if he would have had that first half,
you're talking like his career is over, Greg. Okay, he'll be back.
Where is he now?
He's a minor league deal with the Cubs, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah,
I think I missed that.
Oh, do you guys think Rocco Baldelli would have let Tsuyoshi Nishioka vape? Think you let him hit a geek bar in the clubhouse?
Maybe Rocco's pretty.
Maybe that would have saved his career.
Yeah,
hey, could have. All right, you know what? I think that might be a good place to call this one. This has been a very fun live broadcast. Greg, Cody, any final words before we bid adieu to our dear friends?
Yeah, I've got to tell a really quick Cody story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So when Cody, we were hanging out on Friday night, the group we were with, we were like, hey, none of us have ever gone to a WNBA game. That would be kind of a cool experience. The Lynx are playing this weekend. The Sky are in town. But that would be cool. Maybe we should do that. Anyway, come Sunday, we were looking at it. I was coming actually from out of town. I was probably going to be a little bit late. And I was like, are you still going to go, Cody? And he says, well, I looked at the ticket prices and they're a lot higher than I thought. And so in effect, Cody said that he couldn't get a ticket because if he went woke, he would go broke. So Cody's coming over to the dark side.
Okay, you're implying that you are on that side. First off.
Oh, secondly, Cody's going over to the dark side.
Second, that is not at all how that transpired, and you know that's not how that transpired.
You said it was too expensive for you, so if you did the woke thing, then you would be broke.
Yeah, I looked on the Game Time app, and it was like $111 for like.
Shout out the WNBA! Yeah, that's actually awesome. That I'm very proud of the WNBA. That the cheapest way to get in for a single ticket on Game Time is $111. That's awesome.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. Cody be damned. Good for them.
Yep, I am allegedly anti-woman. I guess that's how we can end that.
We all knew it. Now we have it on tape. Good. So. On behalf
I heard Cody voted for Delman Young in that fan vote.
No.
Yeah. Oh, brother. All right. Someone's got to land this plane. Here. Cody, Greg, thank you so much. Everybody, please, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And please hop on over and listen to us on the Twins Off Daily podcast on all your favorite podcast hosting sources, whether that's Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever it may be.
Now playing everybody's favorite game, is Chris Paddock still a Twin? And as of July 7th, he is still a Twin. Anyway.
Oh dear! I almost missed it. Unbelievable! Yeah. How did we go this 59 minutes here without mentioning Chris Paddock? That's pretty incredible. But
he had a heck of a start on Friday.
He had
run support.
Yeah, it was good.
He's got time for at least a couple more.
He does.
At least 2. We'll say 2+. All right. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining our live broadcast. We will catch you next week at the next off day. Until then, stay sweet.
See you at the Podnanza.
Yeah.